Charles Stewart Parnell, born on June 27, 1846, in Avondale, County Wicklow, hailed from a distinguished Anglo-Irish Protestant family. Despite his privileged background, Parnell's early life was shaped by Ireland's struggles with land ownership and political inequality, laying the foundation for his later advocacy. He received his education in England but returned to Ireland, where his awareness of tenant issues and the plight of Irish farmers deepened. Entering politics in 1875, Parnell became a Member of Parliament, MP, for Meath. His entry coincided with growing unrest among tenant farmers demanding fair rents and protection from evictions. Parnell's rise was meteoric. By 1879, he emerged as a leader of the Irish National Land League, a movement advocating for tenant rights. His focus was not just on addressing immediate land issues, but on achieving broader Irish self-determination. His dual identity, a Protestant landlord championing Catholic tenant farmers, made him a unifying figure in Ireland's deeply divided society. This paradox underpinned his appeal and also fueled his ambition. Parnell's vision was rooted in a belief that Ireland could achieve legislative autonomy through a combination of parliamentary strategy and grassroots activism, a belief that propelled him to the forefront of Irish politics and earned him the admiration of the nationalist cause. Parnell's leadership of the Irish Parliamentary Party, IPP, beginning in 1880, was transformative. He turned a disparate group of MPs into a disciplined and unified political force capable of influencing British politics. His introduction of the Pledge, requiring MPs to vote as a bloc and adhere strictly to party policies, revolutionized Irish parliamentary strategy. Under Parnell's guidance, the IPP became a formidable entity advocating for Home Rule, legislative autonomy for Ireland within the United Kingdom. His ability to navigate the complexities of British parliamentary politics set him apart as a statesman of rare skill. Beyond Westminster, Parnell's leadership resonated across Ireland. He was an exceptional orator, inspiring widespread support among ordinary Irish people. Known as Ireland's uncrowned king, Parnell symbolized hope and resilience in the face of centuries of colonial rule. His leadership extended to bridging the gap between constitutional agitation and grassroots activism, particularly through his work with the Irish National Land League. The 1880s saw him emerge as a key ally to British Prime Minister William Gladstone, who introduced the first Home Rule Bill in 1886. Though the bill was ultimately defeated, Parnell's ability to bring the Home Rule debate to the forefront of British politics demonstrated his effectiveness and cemented his reputation as the foremost Irish nationalist of his time. The scandal that led to Parnell's downfall centered on his relationship with Catherine O'Shea, often referred to as Kitty O'Shea. Catherine was the wife of Captain William O'Shea, a British Army officer, and MP Parnell and Catherine began a romantic relationship in the early 1880s, which remained secret for nearly a decade. The affair resulted in 3 children and a deep personal partnership, but it also sowed the seeds of political disaster. Captain O'Shea, who had been estranged from his wife for years, filed for divorce in 1890, naming Parnell as correspondent. This divorce case thrust the affair into the public eye, creating a sensation in Victorian society, which adhered to strict moral codes. The divorce trial not only exposed the private life of one of Ireland's most prominent leaders, but also provided ammunition for his political enemies. Newspapers and political rivals eagerly exploited the scandal, portraying Parnell as morally unfit for leadership. The Catholic Church, a dominant force in Irish society, condemned him, while Protestant Unionists used the affair to undermine the nationalist cause. The revelation of Parnell's personal life came at a time when his political influence was at its peak, amplifying the fallout and shaking the foundations of the nationalist movement he had worked tirelessly to build. The ramifications of the Kitty O'Shea scandal were immediate and far-reaching. The divorce proceedings not only tarnished Parnell's personal reputation, but also jeopardized the political alliances essential to the Home Rule movement. British Prime Minister William Gladstone, whose support was critical, publicly declared that Parnell's continued leadership of the Irish Parliamentary Party, IPP, would endanger the fragile coalition between the Liberals and Irish nationalists. Gladstone's statement forced the IPP to confront an impossible dilemma: loyalty to their leader or the broader goal of Home Rule. The party split in December 1890, with pro- and anti-Parnell factions forming bitter rivalries. Parnell's supporters remained steadfast, arguing that his leadership was indispensable, while his detractors believed that the scandal had rendered him politically toxic. This division weakened the IPP's cohesion and diminished its effectiveness as a political force. The Catholic Church, which had significant influence over Irish public opinion, further eroded Parnell's support by denouncing him. The fallout highlighted the fragility of a nationalist movement built around a single charismatic figure, and underscored how personal controversies could derail collective political efforts. Parnell's once unassailable position as Ireland's uncrowned king crumbled, leaving the Home Rule cause in disarray. Parnell's final months were marked by relentless campaigning and personal struggles. Despite losing the leadership of the Irish Parliamentary Party, he refused to retreat from public life. He embarked on a grueling campaign to regain his political influence and defend his vision for Ireland. However, the backlash from the scandal proved insurmountable. His marriage to Catherine O'Shea in June 1891 further alienated Conservative and Catholic supporters, deepening his political isolation. Parnell's health, already deteriorating from years of stress and overwork, worsened during this period. He faced constant vilification in the press and betrayal from former allies. By October 1891, Parnell succumbed to pneumonia at the age of 45. His untimely death shocked Ireland, bringing an abrupt end to a career that had reshaped Irish nationalism. Parnell's funeral in Dublin drew thousands of mourners, reflecting the deep respect many still held for him despite the scandal. His epitaph in Glasnevin Cemetery captures the complexity of his legacy. He was the uncompromising champion of the rights of Ireland. In death, Parnell became a symbol of both the potential and the perils of Irish leadership, his life serving as a poignant reminder of the human costs of political. The split in the Irish Parliamentary Party had long-term consequences for Irish nationalism. Parnell's downfall and the ensuing divisions delayed progress on the Home Rule agenda, giving Unionist forces an opportunity to consolidate their position. The nationalist movement, once unified under Parnell's leadership, became mired in infighting and lost the momentum needed to advance legislative autonomy. The pro-Parnell faction, while loyal to their fallen leader's memory, struggled to maintain political influence. The anti-Parnell faction, though larger, faced challenges in restoring public trust and overcoming the stigma of the scandal. The Catholic Church's condemnation of Parnell further complicated efforts to rebuild unity. This fracturing of the movement left a vacuum in Irish politics, one that would not be effectively addressed until the early 20th century, with the Easter Rising of 1916 and the subsequent War of Independence. Parnell's fall serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of personal scandals in public life and the vulnerability of movements overly reliant on charismatic leaders. While his vision for Ireland laid the groundwork for future progress, the immediate aftermath of his leadership collapse underscored the fragility of Ireland's nationalist aspirations during a critical period of its history. Despite the scandal and its consequences, Charles Stewart Parnell remains a towering figure in Irish history. His ability to unite disparate factions and bring the issue of Home Rule to the forefront of British politics was a testament to his extraordinary leadership. Parnell's work laid the foundation for the eventual successes of the Irish nationalist movement, even if he did not live to see them realized. In the decades following his death, Parnell's legacy was reassessed, with many recognizing the magnitude of his contributions to Ireland's struggle for self-governance. His political strategies, Particularly the disciplined approach he brought to the Irish Parliamentary Party influenced later nationalist leaders. While his personal life continues to be a source of controversy, his vision for Ireland transcended the circumstances of his downfall. Parnell's story is one of both triumph and tragedy. A leader whose brilliance was overshadowed by personal failings but whose impact endured. His epitaph, a tribute to his unwavering commitment to Ireland, encapsulates his enduring importance. Charles Stewart Parnell's life remains a powerful reminder of the complexities of leadership and the indelible mark of those who dare to challenge the status quo in pursuit of justice.